What team should LeVeon choose?
I'm going to roll with the Eagles. I mean, they were the Super Bowl champions until they got knocked off by Chicago in the postseason. There's a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz controversy, but both can ball. You still got pretty much the nucleus of your defense returning. Alshon Jeffrey is there. Nelson Aguilar is there. You got tight ends in the Zach Ertz that's there. The offensive line is good enough. I think when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, the one component that they don't have is that reliable. Not to say that Adams couldn't play or what have you, but when you talk about LeVeon Bell, that's just another level. And if you got somebody like him on the field to be a threat for you, that could make life easier for a whole bunch of folks, not to mention it's in the state of Pennsylvania. Obviously, they're incredibly familiar with LeVeon Bell. The Eagles fans are rabid. We all know what they bring to the table. You go to the Lincoln Financial Field, which obviously I spent the vast majority of my career there. It's something special. And I think that LeVeon Bell, with so much to prove in light of what transpired this year, I think he would really shine in that situation. And let's give credit where credit is due. Doug Peterson can coach. And I think that he would utilize him effectively as well. So I like that. I like the Eagles.
Look, the Colts have the cap space and the team and the whole thing, and now they have the offensive line and the offensive linemen and the quarterback and all that, and I'm tempted to say them. But anything Andrew Luck can do, Aaron Rodgers can do better. And Aaron Rodgers and LeVeon Bell have a similar kind of outlook in terms of the horizon of their careers. The next 3 or 4 years, they're going to define their careers largely. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be a one-time Super Bowl champion? And he's going to kind of fall out of the conversation among the greatest of all time. Is LeVeon Bell ever going to get there? Because if LeVeon Bell added a Super Bowl to his resume, you start talking about the best running backs you've ever seen, overall running backs. And I just think, Ryan, play action. First of all, they have those 2 great tackles, especially Bakhtiari. They have a receiving core. Now you're going to tell me Aaron Rodgers and LeVeon Bell going to run play action? What do you do? You don't. What you do is you eat it. You just eat it all game. There's nothing you can do. I got to see it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. We've also heard rumors that would be a great place for Antonio Brown. Obviously, the Colts were the team that had been rumored all season. Marlon Mack played very well down the stretch, but he's no LeVeon Bell. If you have that type of offensive line, that type of quarterback in Andrew Luck, then I think that would be a great place to play. I'm not so sure that Philadelphia is the place. If you watch Doug Peterson and the way that he calls games when Carson Wentz is the quarterback, the run is often an afterthought. We kind of got to see Josh Adams and Clement. Obviously, Jay Ajayi was hurt last season. You got to see those guys roll when Nick Foles was the quarterback. One team I think people should pay attention to, though, is the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have a quarterback who is on his first deal. Lamar Miller is a guy who's going into the last year of his deal, who they can get rid of and create cap space. You have Hopkins on the outside. Fuller will be coming back from injury. Deshaun Watson is a dynamic quarterback, and a run game is something that they need. To add a running game or to add a back like LeVeon Bell to what they already have in their arsenal offensively, I think would be amazing. And so to me, the Colts and the Houston Texans are the 2 teams that we should be aware of once LeVeon Bell hits free agency. And I believe that the Colts are I believe that the Texans are probably more likely because the Colts have Marlon Mack.
Ryan, I hear you about the reality of Houston. I love Houston as a pick, too, although Lamar Miller is kind of like an inconsistent LeVeon Bell, right? Like he can do some similar. But where should he want to go, right? Like if without respect to cap space and everything, if you're LeVeon Bell, would you rather be in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers or in Indianapolis or Texas?
Hold on, Ryan, before you answer that question. Why don't you just tell the audience in America, Max Kellerman, that you cheated? Because the fact of the matter is we talked about this last week, and we all conceded that Aaron Rodgers was a given. You understand what I'm saying? Who don't know that LeVeon Bell with Aaron Rodgers? All right,
is that your number one?
We were supposed to say anybody but Aaron Rodgers because we conceded a week ago that Aaron Rodgers and LeVeon Bell is automatic.
Listen, if you're taking Green Bay off the table for me, I'll go Colts or Texans.
All right,
that's fine. Max and I both agree with the way we love and feel about Aaron Rodgers. And I think anytime any offensive player is a free agent, that's the place he should want to go if he can play with that guy.
bad man. That would be me. Okay, so we understand Aaron Rodgers is a given. So the point is, outside of Aaron Rodgers, you going with Indy? Where you going? Outside of Aaron Rodgers.
That wasn't the email. The email I got didn't say outside of Aaron Rodgers. So to me, Max, you're good. You're good.
I would say, look, if you make me choose between the Colts and the Texans, I would probably take the Colts at this moment, and that's because I think Andrew Luck and LeVeon Bell's timing matches up a little bit better than Deshaun Watson, who's still ascending, and Le'Veon Bell.
Let me get to Ryan's card. Let me get to your point about the Eagles. Here's why I disagree. I think that Doug Peterson goes the route that he goes with Carson Wentz because he doesn't have a choice. The fact is, if you've got Le'Veon Bell coming out of your backfield, that's going to cause you to modify your approach as a coach. I don't know any coach alive that would have Le'Veon Bell in his backfield and don't utilize him. I don't know who that coach is.
Now, listen, we've seen Todd Haley forget that he had Le'Veon Bell every now and then he had to come back.
Every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then he had to come back to him and realize that Le'Veon Bell was
guys, you know what?
It happens when you have quarterbacks like Ben and like Carson. Those things happen. Coaches forget and tend to get pass happy because that's what people love to see.
What package does Le'Veon Bell not fit in? What team? I don't care if you already have a great running back. You can put him as your slot receiver.
Anywhere.
You can line him up out, split him out wide. Le'Veon Bell could do anything.
How you going to ask the question when Molly's telling us we got to go to the next subject?
I was already starting.
Don't ignore Molly like that.
How dare you?
So rude. I actually interrupted you like 10 times today.